All right. Okay, guys, thank you for your patience. I'm going to share my screen. Please feel free to chat and talk to me because right now it's just the two of you, and I want to make sure uh, I can answer questions and help you understand this. So today we're going to talk about agent referrals, and we're going to talk about how to how to use how agent referrals work, and then how to use Keller Williams Command to manage them. So we've got a little bit of an agenda here. We're going to talk about the types of referrals that exist, how we receive them, how we send them, how you get paid, and then I'm going to demo it. As I said, please feel free to stop me with any questions you have. So there's basically, in the standard scenario, two types of referrals. Either it's inbound, where another agent says, I want you to be their client's agent. They have a client, they, for whatever reason, cannot be the agent for them, and they are requesting that you do it. And they charge you a referral fee. You pay them. So the typical model is an agent out of state uh, finds you or learns of you or has a previous relationship with you and says, Hey, Mark, can you help Bill and Susan to buy the house? And just pay me a referral fee. The typical referral fee is 25%. And so that is a very typical scenario. And it's always lovely when you get a lead that way. Typically, a lead like that is a serious buyer or a serious seller, and they're not needing to be nurtured that much, usually. The other type of referral is outbound, where you have a client and they, for whatever reason, you can't work on their capacity. Again, the typical scenario is they're moving away. They're moving out of state or even out of the part of California where you're prepared to help them, and so in that case, you request and you get paid a referral fee. And that can be very, very nice because your work is basically a little bit of research to find the agent at the front end, and just sort of keeping in touch about it. And that's all you have to do. So that can be very attractive as well. So let's talk about the scenario where you receive a referral first. The typical scenario, the agent doing the referral reaches out to you. They reach out to you. They may know about you. They may not know anything about you. They may want to interview you. They may not be, hey, Macy, here's a referral. It may be, tell me a little bit about your business and what you've been doing and what kind of buyers or sellers you've represented or your expertise in a specific area. They may want to uh, discuss how much you're going to pay them for them sending them this business. The standard, if there is a standard, is 25% referral fee, but it is um, that referral fee is negotiable. It's always negotiable. In a scenario where you are receiving a referral, that is somebody is sending you their client to help them, you don't send out the referral contract. The typical arrangement is they send the referral contract, and it's broker to broker. So their brokerage via them or their assistant sends the contract to you, and your broker signs it. So in Macy's case, that would be Alanya or Eddie, and in your case, that would be Gene Gallagher. Keep in mind that you are not obviously obligated to take any referral you're offered. Sometimes those referrals come with a lot of strings attached, or are not where you're going to be comfortable serving the client. So you can always say no.
I actually did get a referral once. It
Oh,
was actually,
good. That's
yeah,
great.
it was, it fell through, but,
Oh,
that's, as far as I know, the other realtor wasn't expecting anything in return. It was just, she notified the listing agent notified me. I was doing open houses for this house. And, We went to write an offer, but they were trying to, lowball it, and so
Maybe
they
that's why she didn't want any
maybe, yeah,
money because she knew that it'd be difficult for it to complete anything.
yep,
I
and
don't remember, I don't, it is very uncommon for you to get referrals for no charge from licensed brokers or
right.
licensed agents.
She was like from Northern California somewhere, like
Yeah,
you
but it
know,
doesn't matter.
yeah.
The fact that I would almost call it a red flag if an agent doesn't want to be paid. That's something very non-standard.
Well, that's a good point. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, I didn't ask them enough information to fill the paperwork out, so I had to go back a second time, and that kind of lost momentum there.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that, and so that kind of it started to go there, and then it's like, they, like I said, they were going to lowball the offer anyway. They want to put an offer in without consulting me in any way, shape, or form. They'd already had a number in their mind. That's what they were going to spend. So,
Wow.
yeah,
So we get referrals that way. That's great when that happens. But we also send referrals. And this is where you want to be ahead of the pack and do a better job at this. Because remember, your reputation is a bit on the line with your client. You want to refer them to somebody good. So my practice that I recommend you do is interview at least three suitable agents for your client. You want to verify that they're going to pay your referral fee, 25%, 30%, 20%, whatever you feel is appropriate under the circumstances. And after you've interviewed at least three suitable agents, you want to recommend at least two of them. So you want to get to a point where you have two referrals you can make. Um, and then once a an agent has been selected, you want to send the referral contract to the agent that is going to work with your client. Okay, so you're going to send the referral contract. You're not going to wait for them to send it to you. You're going to get it signed. It's a zip forms form. You can find it in zip forms easily. And the broker, it has to be signed by your broker. As I said, Gene Gallagher for Palo Alto and Eddie Moran for Oakland or Fremont. Um, And again, just because you interview three, four, even five agents, you're not obligated to refer to anyone. You pick the one that your client picks the one they want, and it goes from there. There are some agents who send out the referral contract to all of the agents they refer to and let it go from there. But I actually like my client to clarify with me who they want to work with first, and then I send the contract to the one they've chosen. It's a little bit less work, but it takes a little bit longer, but that's okay. So, what happens? What happens next? So if it's an inbound referral, if you're getting a client that you're going to represent, you need to obviously meet with them and have them formally hire you by signing a buyer representation and broker compensation agreement. The form is changing in January. You're now going to need to say in the buyer representation agreement as of January 1 that you are getting this client as a referral, an inbound referral. You're going to have to say that. And then there's a form that'll pop up called the RAD where you will specify the brokerage. Um, It is very important that you have a protocol in place for keeping the agent that referred you the business in touch, staying in touch with them every few weeks, telling them what's going on. This is really huge because if uh, they may want to send referrals to you in the future, and they'll be more likely to do it if you did a really good job of communicating with them. So um, or you might want to, anyway, the referring agent that's when you should also be connected with when you open escrow and when you're expecting the deal to close to give them the idea of when they're going to get their referral fee. And then you need to make sure when you actually sell the property that the commission referral fee is appropriately designated in your commission demand so that the company, the brokerage knows who to send the check, our brokerage knows who to send the check to. On the other hand, let's suppose you're doing an outbound referral. First, You want to make sure the referral agreement is signed if it hasn't already been done. And then you're going to be reaching out to the agent you referred the business to. Don't rely on them to reach out to you to keep you up to date. I mean, it'd be great if they did, the best ones do, but don't rely on it. You should be checking in with the agent you referred your client to semi-regularly, especially if they're actively looking for houses. But do avoid the temptation to tell the referring agent what to do. Especially if they've signed a buyer rep agreement or they're from a different state. If your clients have signed a deal with that new agent and if they are out of state, you don't have any agency to give the referral agent advice about what to do. So try to avoid that. And I would also make sure that your client knows that you're staying in the loop. If they, call them, how's it going with Agent Bill? How's your house search going? Isn't that great? If they start asking you questions, you just forward them to the new agent. You don't try to answer them. And then as things develop and you look like they get into contract, you want to follow up with the agent you referred the business to make sure they have all the paperwork so that when the deal closes, their brokerage sends you the check appropriately. Now, what happens is their brokerage sends the check to our brokerage, not directly to you.
How should you approach it if the other agent is not performing?
That's really kind of challenging, right? Because you referred them.
Exactly.
So, one situation is to find out from your buyers exactly where the source of frustration is and try to get it resolved with that agent. But if the situation is still kind of tense, you go to their broker.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, Steve. Oh, hey, Stephen,
yeah,
actually, I have a quick question for
of
you.
course.
I have, I work with a client, and because, the husband is very stubborn, and, and I met with them, and then I just said, well, seems like it's very tough. And then I talked to one of our agent in the office. And she said, yeah, maybe you can let me try and maybe I can help them. So I referred to her, and
Uh-huh.
what happened is I approached to her, I say, how's the meeting go? And then actually she's just not talking to me. Just say, oh, it's still in process. And then, and I didn't have her to, she didn't mention anything about the referral or anything. And I haven't sent her, the contract or anything. So what shall I do now? Because for
Send
sure,
so
as far as I know, that my friend is working with her. And what happened is because they are like a hoarder house, and she referred them to clean it up for, like March or April. And then once they clean it up, and then I am 99.99 that they will sign a contract with her,
y-
because she is already told them that, in April or May you have to finish it up, and then I will come and, see it again, and then, they will go from there. She didn't tell me anything about it, but my friend told me that.
your friend is the client, right?
Yes, correct.
You should, even with agents in our brokerage, you
Yes.
should have a referral agreement between you.
Okay.
And it should be in writing, and we have the form, there's a referral form for that. So
Okay.
you absolutely need to clarify with this person that they're going to pay you a referral fee.
Right.
Um, it's in the same brokerage. So
Mm-hmm.
technically, all you need to do technically is advise the
Mm-hmm.
office to what the split is with you and the other broker because, technically you don't need a referral agreement inside the same brokerage because the money is going broker to broker.
Right.
However,
Correct.
because it's a different agent and you are not feeling confident about it, you absolutely need to take charge. You
Mm-hmm.
need to contact that agent and say, I'm so glad that you've been giving great, always come from gratitude. I'm so glad that you've been
Mm,
able to give
okay.
my client great advice about cleaning up the place and connect them with a resource of them to clean up the place. And I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure from my conversations with them that they're going to hire you to be their agent, which is great news. Here is my referral agreement. Please sign it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I feel very kind of upsetting. I have to be honest, because it's my friend, and then after you want to meet with them and fine, and then after you meet, I assume your courtesy, you will tell me what is the outcome, what is
Yeah.
the
So Macy,
status, right? But
yeah.
not telling me, yes,
So I think that we should talk about this situation offline, you and me, a little more, okay?
sure, sure,
Yeah.
okay,
But my basic
okay,
advice
thank
for
you,
anybody
yeah.
who's listening to this, watching it on YouTube later, whatever, my basic advice is
Mm-hmm.
no matter who the agent is, no matter how much experience they have a buyer
Yeah,
a referral agreement in place with them right from the
okay,
get-go.
okay.
Okay?
Okay. Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. So let's keep going. How do you get paid? If it is an inbound referral, that is to say you're going to be serving the client, then you just normally do your sale process with them. You fill out a commission demand and you specify the referral fee you're paying to the other party. That's pretty straightforward, according to the referral agreement.
Mm,
If it is outbound referral, like in Macy's case, we would expect the agent to advise you the transaction is closed, and we would expect their brokerage to send the full referral amount to our brokerage. If it is inside our brokerage, we would expect the checks to come to the office from the title company, split between the two agents inside the brokerage as a co fees, right? And your
mhm,
portion of it will be deducted. They'll take off your commission for the broker and your royalty. And you'll get a check for the balance. There won't
mm,
be any legal fees, there won't be any transaction fees, and there won't be any productivity coaching and mentorship fees if you're in PC and mentorship. So for outbound referrals, you need to be on top of it to make sure when you have an agent that isn't communicating with you, what's going on with the transaction. And sometimes you need to talk to the broker as well. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is not the process, but how you actually get referrals, right? How do you get referrals? How do you get the opportunity to refer business outside of where you'll get paid and someone else will take care of the client? There are a number of ways. First of all, excuse me, you want to promote yourself on KW Command. We have a whole referral network. That is a very powerful tool when used correctly. You also want to let other agents know that you are available, that you are an agent who wants to receive referrals. And so there's networking events where you can do that, where you reach other agents who are out of area, like Family Reunion, Mega Camp, um, where you can promote yourself. You can actually advertise. I remember when I started, there were real estate magazines that came out every month. And on the last two pages, there were all these business card sized ads for realtors saying, hey, refer to me. I'm the expert in this county or in this state or whatever. And some of them would get very aggressive, offering 30% referral fees to get inbound referrals. And of course, your reputation is your bond, is your creed. It's one of the most valuable assets you have. So you always want to have great relationships with all the agents you interact with at the office and at meetings and regional and local networking meetings. You never know when someone that you've had a good relationship with, maybe they move out of area and you're the only agent that they really want to do business with when they have referrals from here that they want to give away because they're not here anymore. So you just never know. So you always want to nurture your relationships with other agents. Now, if you're a referral agent or you are going to give a referral, you're the referrer, then you can use the KW Command Referral Network, which I really love as a tool. Hold on one sec. Yeah, you can use that same network. It's fantastic to find agents. We're going to look at that. You can actually phone, if you have a referral to give, you can phone team leaders and sales managers at other offices and ask them who is the right agent for my client with a little information. So instead of having to guess or just go on raw sales statistics, you can say phone the office, talk to someone in leadership at that brokerage. And it doesn't need to be a KW brokerage, by the way. You can talk to agents. You can refer business to any licensed real estate agent in the world, really, but certainly in Canada and the United States. We're all under a licensing structure. So as long as it's a licensed agent, their brokerage agrees to send referral fees.
Why would you choose someone other than KW?
If KW doesn't have a local office, that's about the only reason.
Yeah,
They,
okay.
they don't have anyone local, or they don't have an agent that meets the specific need you have. Sometimes you're outbound referral, you're looking for someone with a specific knowledge.
Okay.
Maybe somebody who's got experience with, I don't know, probate sales or 1031 exchanges
Right.
or something unusual, TIC sales, whatever.
Okay.
You can also learn about agents just by doing internet searches. Or you can phone the top producing agents, or you can reach out to the top local agents in a community and ask them who, sorry, I'm saying this wrong. You can ask agents here if they have already an agent that they refer business to where your client is going. So if your client is going to Milwaukee, maybe there's an agent in our office or that you interact with here who has a referral partner in that area. Now, tends to be that the further away you go from this area, the less likely that's to happen. But most of the top agents in our office will have referral agents in the East Bay because they don't want to go across the bridge, in Sonoma, in Sonoma, Marin, up in the northern counties. Maybe they'll have a referral partner in Tracy or out or further east. You just if you want to refer those out, instead of you can just talk to some of our top producers in the office. They may know people. So that's how you find agents. And we're actually going to play with the KW Command Referral Network in a minute, like right now. Okay, so before we sorry, didn't mean to do that. Let me go into, I did mean to do that actually. You can still see my screen, right?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to go into Keller Williams, KW Command, and we're going to look at a tool that most people don't really, many people aren't even aware is there, especially since our focus in KW Command is all about entering names of contacts and developing smart plans and stuff. A lot of people don't know that it's a really good resource for agent referral tool. So this is my home screen on KW Command. And down the left, we have our contacts and our task list and our smart plans. Right underneath that is a little bubbly thing like a apostrophe, and it says referrals. So this is what we're going to do. And so we are going to go look for a referral. So Mark, do you have anyone that you want to refer out right now at all?
Not offhand. They have a potential client in Tracy, but
Okay, in
that's
Tracy?
way down the road. He's like I just talked to him the other day even, and
Okay.
he's waiting for the interest rates.
Okay, but let's see, he's in Tracy, right?
Yeah.
So what you do is you want to find a great agent in Tracy. So you click on map at the top and we put in Tracy, California. And then we can choose to find agents based on production, the market centers there, your own personal network, and referral patterns. But I recommend production.
Mm.
And when you do this, this is what comes up are all these little red and green things. So a red thing is one individual agent. And a green thing is so many agents that they made them green. And they see, there's an awful lot of real estate agents in Tracy. A little overwhelming, right? So we don't know who we want in Tracy. So what we're going to do is we're going to filter the results. Maybe we want someone who speaks Spanish. I just making this up, okay?
Yep.
Look at all the languages. We want someone who speaks Spanish. And maybe we want that they've closed units at least what? What number would you make you feel comfortable, Mark?
Oh, at least 4 a year, right?
4 a year. So let's say
At least.
4 in the last 12 months. Closed units in this area. Actually, in this area is less valuable. I would say at least 2 locally and at least 4 overall, right? And if is it a listing lead or a buyer lead?
This will be a buyer lead.
So we don't care about listings sold, but we want them to have at least, I don't know, 3 buy sides. We apply the filter and we're going to have a lot less. We have 3. I don't know why it's showing 4 and saying 3 up here. And so these 4 folks all have data that supports that criteria. So let's start with the first one on the list. So we click his name. It gives us his languages, which do not include Spanish. That is so weird. Why did he come up? How about this one? Maria, English and Spanish. Email, phone number. 1 unit closed locally, 5 units closed in the last 12 months, 1 listing sold, 4 buy side. She meets the minimum criteria. Her average sale size is 425, which is pretty good for that area, right? Because remember, prices are cheaper in Tracy. And then we've got the next one, Minerva. Now she's much busier. Her average sale price is slightly higher, but she did 11 million. She did 23 units in the last she did 23 units in the last year, but only 1 of them in the area. You see that? Sorry. Only 1 in the area. And she's split between buyers and sellers. Then we have Sonia. Sonia also speaks Spanish.
That would be
10
something you'd
closed
probably want
units.
to ask her. Why
Sorry?
she only have 1 unit in the area, right?
Yeah, the same with the other one. They may be based in a nearby town like Modesto or something, and they go out to Tracy. Okay. But maybe you want to know more about Sonia or any of these folks. There is a way, and let me just see if I can figure this out, for these people to see they usually have more information about them, like a bio. Is it here?
You could find it on MLS too, right?
Maybe. No, because they're in a different MLS than us. This is how you send them the referral request or send a question to talk to them. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to look at her information. So let me see if I can find her. So there's a way that I can there's a way, I'm just going to pick someone else. This person, Janet Anderson. Not a lot of Spanish language speakers, right? But let's just talk about Janet. If you click on a name here, you can actually, I believe, see much more about them. But it doesn't seem to want to come up for me. In the past, I've been able to see their bio, but it doesn't want to do it here, which is interesting.
Might also be that they just don't realize. I mean, they speak a second language, but not to realize that they should, uh,
Put
you
it
know,
here.
yeah, put it here because I actually had that happen in our office. One of our agents, spoke Russian and Ukrainian or something, and we were talking about bios, and I said, hey, you need to put that in there, and say, I speak these
Yeah.
languages.
Yeah. So, I don't know why I'm not able to do it right now, but in the past, when I've found these folks, I've been able to look at their biography. Um, but you're right, they may not have put their language in, even though they speak multiple languages. But I have been able to find their biography. So for any one of these people, if you can't find the biography here, you can go back. Let's go back to our results. Maria looked like she might be good. What I would do is I copy her name, and then I would do further research on the regular internet about her, since we're not finding her bio. So I put in the name, realtor. Okay. And now we're seeing a picture of her, and she has a website. And I'm sure from her website, we might be able to get her bio. See, she's based in Silicon Valley, KW. She's not even in the
I was gonna
valley.
say that's a ways away from Tracy.
Yeah, but she may live there, which is why her name came out there. But this is part of your due diligence. So I would allow to spend, there you go. Here is her bio, her details. So when you've isolated people who look like they might be a good fit, you will want to read about them online. And by the way, nowadays, guess what people are doing? They're going to AI. I'm not going to do this because I don't think YouTube will do it, but we're not going to do this because YouTube may not let me uh, publish if I do this. But you put in the name about the realtor in AI.
Right.
By the way, guys, see how it says upgrade in the top right corner here? KW has a free version of Gemini for all of our agents. You just go into, sorry, I chose the wrong one. You go into your kw.com account on Google, and it will not be the upgradable version. It'll be the pro version, which most people pay $20 a month for. And I would argue that this is as strong as a tool
Chat GPT.
as is ChatGPT. Yeah, in some ways it's stronger because it's more integrated with Google Docs and Google Sheets, which can be very helpful. So you can see that we can use the Google referral network to find local agents and what I often do in the Google referral network, I should show you this too. What I often do is I often look for the team, the sales, the market center. So what I'll do is I will go to the map, and instead of looking for an individual, I will look for a market center. Let's see if I can do it here. Um, let's see. I've been able to do this before. Do I want production? Market center, sorry. It was up here in the search. So there's a market center near, not that far from Tracy. Here's Tracy in Salida, and this is a Modesto Market Center. So you could also find people that way. And if we make this smaller, I wonder if we can make this map smaller. We might see there's a market center up in Brentwood, and there's one in Stockton as well.
Both of those are a
So
lot closer. Yeah.
there's the closest one is Modesto. But there may be people who go down from Stockton over to Tracy, and there may be agents who go down from Brentwood over to Tracy.
Yeah,
And
I'd
this
say
one,
Brentwood's definitely doable, I think.
yeah, there's actually an agents at Pleasanton, Livermore, Keller Williams. They're owned by a different company than ours, but researching market centers, phoning the team leader, or phoning the PC, or phoning the agent services person is also a stepping stone to finding recommended people. I've used all of these methods. So this is a way that you can build business in a way that, a lot of people don't think about all the time. So I'm putting it on the screen, the QR code for today. I can get my assistant will be happy to send you, the slide deck that I went through before if you want it. If you click on this QR code. Yeah, that's what I was going to say about referrals. Do you guys have any other questions?
No, that was pretty informative.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, short and sweet today. But the point is that KW Command is a resource, and these leaders are resources, and other agents are resources, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to earn, be able to be happy with your be happy. There's nothing that makes me happier is when my client says, "I'm so glad you referred us to this in person. They've been amazing." That is, I know I've done a good job with my research. I had a client who moved to Washington State this year. I sold her house and then I got a referral check when she bought a place in Washington State. I have another client I sold a house to and I referred to an agent in San Antonio and made a referral fee that way. So you can make decent coin, several $1,000s, right? It's nice.
Well, you're going past
Yeah, I ran to a Facebook person, and I was watching. That's exclusively what she does.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do this exclusively. And the work is if you're just doing outbound referrals, the work is at the front end because you don't want your person to not be happy, right? So you're going to interview them. I mean, ultimately, your client is going to hire whoever they want, and sometimes they will hire someone from a different that you didn't refer to them, and that this happens, right? You're not going to get them all,
right?
But still, if your word will go a long way, and at the very least, they should interview the person you recommend.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you guys. And it's nice to see you, Mark, or hear from you anyway.
Soon. Yep.
And Macy, let's talk later, okay?
Yeah, can I call you after we hang up?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
All right. Bye,
Okay.
guys.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.